Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, and this show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. We ask that you subscribe to that great channel for other shows, not just sports, but we also do have live sports, including some more this weekend. A lot of college stuff going on. We've got college men's lacrosse, college women's lacrosse, and women's flag football, all courtesy of Illinois Wesleyan. Check those out this weekend on the Natter. On today's great episode, I'm going to talk about the championship recipes for the Vancouver Warriors and then the Colorado Mammoth, now that those two teams have clinched playoff berths. I will then get to a segment talking about bringing back fighting. There seems to be a call by a few people to want more fighting in the NLL like the good old days. I'll talk about why that makes no sense and it's not good for the future. And finally, the latest edition of the Power Rankings. Have the Rush fallen out of my top spots? I also have a very bold move in my Power Rankings as well. This show is presented by the merchandise from the NLL found at natalkradio.us/NLL. When you use that link, you are taken straight to the NLL Amazon store. It just gives us credit, and we thank you for shopping. All right, folks, let's get into our championship recipes, as we're going to first start off this segment with the Vancouver Warriors. Vancouver is currently the second seed in the NLL, and they currently have a record of 11-4. Their remaining three games are at Buffalo versus Halifax and then versus the Philadelphia Wings. In other words, they're at least 12-4 if you count in that Wings game. But let's think about what the Warriors need to do to really finish the job this season. We're going to first start off with 2 cups of team chemistry / unselfishness. I am not sure why this Vancouver Warriors team looks like this, but one of the things that scares me the most about the Warriors not capitalizing is, I'm not saying it's in their personalities, even though I kind of am as well. I think there's some jerks on that team. And rightfully so. They're very talented jerks, and they've earned the right to be jerks. But I don't think I get it, they're all from British Columbia. I get it, they all want the common goal. Everyone can say that. But I think there's a little bit of selfishness that could creep in. Because if you have to nitpick these teams, I think that's one of the things that they need is togetherness. They might be together, they might do a lot of things together. But when the face-off starts, for some reason, the ball dies in sticks sometimes. Has it gotten better the last few weeks? Sure, it absolutely has. But am I convinced that it's not going to creep back up? No. First game of the season, they lost to Colorado 10-7. I don't care how good you think Colorado is, you scored 7 goals with this roster. San Diego, they scored 9 goals and lost. Saskatchewan, 8 goals and lost, even though that one's a little bit more forgivable. The Rock, 10 goals and lost. Oh, in the Rush game, they blew a lead. Again, those 4 games, they should have won. I'm not saying they should have gone undefeated, but I find it peculiar that they lost the Mammoth to start the season, They lost to the Rock a couple of weeks ago, and the Rush walked them down. I think that shows there's still a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of unselfishness needed. Now, granted, what was it, Jesse King, who had told the TSN crew weeks back about how, I believe it was the Ottawa game, like not the recent one, but the one in Ottawa. He was saying, sometimes the ball actually stays in their stick and they become indecisive. But I think, again, that's chemistry. Like, you're trying to make your other buddy happy. It's like, don't worry about that. If you have a shot, take the shot. If a guy's wide open, pass it to him. But if they get in their heads that, oh no, I might piss off Curtis Dixon or whoever else, or Marcus Clarich, young guys might not be able to eat. Come on, man. I feel like the chemistry needs to be there. I feel that'll be a big part of if they win. It's also not the worst weakness to have. I'll give them a couple of tablespoons of emotional stability. And by that, I mean keeping your cool. I believe Vancouver is one of those teams, because they are an older group. Other teams can probably get under their skin and make them want to fight instead of win. I don't believe that Kurt Malosky and Curtis Dixon and other guys are the nicest people in the world. I think there are the other guys on that team that, for whatever reason, when they hit the floor, they're not the most forgiving individuals. I think if you want to get under this team's skin, like, remember when Albany/Oshawa did that a couple of years ago in their finals run? They got underneath the skin of teams, and then they were able to win the game on power plays. If you are Vancouver, you want to make sure you're keeping your cool. Don't turn into Halifax. Don't turn into a group of wily vets who thinks that they deserve better. Curtis Dixon, darn the call that wasn't called. Get off the floor instead of reverse transition. I'm not saying it's been a major issue, which is why I've only given it 2 tablespoons. I'm just saying I could see a scenario where Vancouver kind of lets a power play happen they probably shouldn't have let happen. And again, I don't know if there's any pesky teams right now. I can see Georgia or Ottawa maybe, but Vancouver's handled those teams already. So maybe the Rock and the Rush could be a team that like that. But if I'm Vancouver, our roster's too good to worry about the little stuff. And finally, a dash of someone stepping up. By someone, I mean, who is the third guy besides Curtis Dixon and Keegan Ball? Because when the defense wises up and realizes that Keegan Ball is the offense, who is going to step up? I think Marcus Clarich could do so. Could Jesse King become more of a goal scorer? I'm curious to see who steps up. Adam Charlin-Beatties has actually had a very good bounce-back season. Who is going to step up? Is it a young Ryan Sheridan? I don't know. But someone is going to have to be a second or third option, because we all know Curtis Dixon is going to take an outside shot. We all know Keegan Ball is numero uno on offense. But once he is limited, which third guy steps up? I just think that that's a thing that might need to happen. I think they're kind of like Ian McKay for the Buffalo Bandits. Like, there needs to be that third guy that when Dane and Josh, or should I say Keegan and Curtis, are kind of limited, is it going to be Jesse King? Will it be Charlin-Beatties? Will it be Clarich? I want Clarich. My guess might be Charlin-Beatties, actually. We'll see what happens, though. I think Vancouver is close. I just feel like the little things is why I still think Saskatchewan is better. I feel like Buffalo and Saskatchewan's vibes are better. But Vancouver obviously is the most talented team in this playoffs, and I would not be surprised if they win it. I'd pick them to win it all, overcoming these type of things. We'll see, though, as the playoffs get started. When we come back, we're going to turn to another page of the cookbook as I will cook up some more championship dishes here. On the other side, we're going to talk about the Colorado Mammoth and what they need. And for the record, it's more than Andrew Q. But we'll be right back, Dilly Dive. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned for my power rankings. And should fighting be encouraged? We'll be right back.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening. You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back, everybody. You are locked into Dilly Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. We appreciate you for being here. Reminder that if you want to support your favorite team or player, or even unboxed logo, whatever that's worth, head over to natalkradio.us/NLL. It gives us and the NLL credits, considering the money goes to them. We get a tiny bit of commission, right? We get a sprinkle of the commission, kind of like a dash of who is the third guy in Vancouver that steps up. I'm just curious. By the way, who do we think, in terms of goal scoring, would be the third guy in Vancouver? Because right now, obviously, Keegan Bull is the offense. You've got Curtis Dixon, who's actually got more goals than him. Jesse King, Charlotte Beatties, and Marcus Clarich are right there. I'm rooting for Marcus Clarich. I think he has the most potential. I could see Charlotte Beatties being the guy of this playoff run that turns into the Ian McKay. By Ian McKay, I don't mean doing what McKay does, but McKay scored a lot of goals last year in the finals. So, I think Charlotte Beatties. Like, again, I want Clarich. I think Beatties is going to be the one that actually does it, though. All right, folks, let's get back to our championship recipes. This time it's for Colorado. Now, the Mammoth are interesting. So far this season, their record is 10-5. And after back-to-back losses and 3 of the previous 4, they did make the playoffs. They have a playoff berth. Their losses this season are an 8-7 loss in Philadelphia, a 12-3 loss versus Georgia. At Toronto, they lost 13-9. Ottawa, they lost 10-5. And at Buffalo, they lost 13-10. That's a lot. For some reason, at home, they score a boatload of more goals. In 8 games this season at home, they've scored 105 goals. In 7 games on the road, they've scored 67. Huge drop off for them. Obviously, Jason Bishop is in the running for what I call Assistant Coach of the Year in the NLL. He is the offensive coach, but I'll be honest, he probably won't win it for me because of the lulls they've experienced offensively. So far this season, Andrew Q, in just 11 games, leads the team in points with 78. He also leads the NLL with 43 goals scored, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I'm going to first start off with 2 cups of offensive consistency. That sounds very odd for the Colorado Mammoth, I know, but consistency on offense, does that not also include the road? Now, right now, through 15 games, the Colorado Mammoth have the second most goals in the NLL. Now, granted, the Desert Dogs and the Rock, and even the Bandits, I believe, have a better goals for per game, but the Mammoth have a top 5 goal scoring offense. But when you do eventually play 1 or 2 road playoff games in a series, what can you do? Are you going to fall flat on your face and not score? I think that's a concern for this team. Andrew Q has been excellent. But let's say Andrew Q has 3 goals instead of 6 goals. What do they look like? Jack Hanna, as I told you guys before the season, he's a nice complementary option, but I don't think he's going to be the goal scorer that they need because he has not shown to be that in his career so far. They're obviously missing Ryan Lee. They're obviously missing Eli McLaughlin. And so who's going to step up? Will Malcolm this season has 27 goals, but to me, he could be way better. Will Malcolm has taken 15 more shots on goal and has 16 less goals than Andrew Q. Now, I'm not asking Will Malcolm to be a high percentage shooter, but at least help the guy out, can we? Jack Hanna, only 20 goals. Shout out Dylan McIntosh with 20. Shout out Braden Sears, the rookie, with 14. But I'm like, there has to be more. And looking at it now, I'm wondering, do they have enough offense when it comes time? Because chances are, without Ryan Lee and Eli McLaughlin, then you're kind of looking at Andrew Q, a little bit of Will Malcolm, and then you're done. Because chances are, you're not relying on Jack Hanna, Braden Sears, and Dylan McIntosh, and God bless those guys. They're not helping you, at least this year. And while it is kind of a, well, come on, Michael, what's the point of this segment? They've shown the ability to hang in there with good teams. But we'll see what happens. Now, Pat Gregoire wants to join the kitchen here. He said, 1 cup of a healthy Thomas Vela. Like, listen, that's, again, I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know if that's the answer here. I know that he says only 1 cup. I get it. But I don't want to excuse Colorado's offensive lulls with 1 guy because, again, they have a guy named Nathan Grennan who also likes to do the dirty work. And they said, nah, we don't need you, bro. And I don't understand like why you even sign the guy if you don't need him. I'm looking at the Calgary game real quick, the box score here. Allegedly, Champion Data likes to be slow as crap for no reason whatsoever. There we go. So the last game, yeah, I don't understand. Like, yeah, so what's the point of Nathan Grennan being on this team? Literally, like, did they release him again? Like, remember the first week they signed Nathan Grennan and they didn't play him and how the offense looked? They 13-10 against Buffalo, right? Like, oh, well, we need a guy to clear space. Nathan Grennan. This week, he's not even on the roster. Not even a healthy scratch. But again, if we think Vela is the guy who's going to come in there and do stuff like that, why have they not used Grennan? I don't get it. I feel like the offense would have looked very similar the last 2 weeks. That's wild, man. I don't know. Was Grennan I didn't see that. That's weird. But enough about the Nathan Grennan Vela thing. But I like that we got more cooks. If you want to be a cook, chime in the chat. Another thing I want from the Mammoth, and this is going to sound weird, but can Dylan Ward step back up again? Now, I know this season Dylan Ward has got a 80.9 save percentage. That's tailed off, man. We've seen a lot of Nathan Whittam this year. In fact, we've seen 118 minutes of Nathan Whittam. And at first it was like, okay, that's good to know. He can be good. But now it's like, whoa, Dylan Ward, last year you were excellent start to finish, but the team wasn't good. This year you were excellent to start, and suddenly I don't know where he went. Now, granted, Dylan Ward has probably earned the right to have an excuse in the playoffs because he has been good in the playoffs, but really it's kind of like a Del Bianco thing for me. Like, Del Bianco has one NLL Finals run, and after that, nothing. Dylan Ward, he also beat the Buffalo Bandits. Okay, and? Like, how good are you going to be? Because right now, you guys are Nick Rose with one extra ring. I'm not saying Dylan Ward and Del Bianco are not better than Nick Rose in the playoffs. I'm saying, what have you done for me lately? And Dylan Ward has got to be better again. Because again, if you're going to rely on the fact that, well, not rely, but if, let's say, Vela comes back, and let's say McLaughlin and Ryan Lee, obviously Ryan Lee, but let's say they're all out for the year, obviously, Vela comes back, okay, your offense will not be scoring 14 goals. So can Dylan Ward be the one who steps up like he did to start the season? I'd like to say yes. I'm not 100% certain, though. You can still make the championship with a cup of Vela. I like that. Yeah, of course. No, I agree with that. And again, like, if they need Vela and Grennan is like a Timu version of Vela, why did they not try that the last 2 games? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why sign him in the first place? I don't get it. And again, I know I'm like a Grennan apologist. I feel like most people are at this point. But the kid likes to work, man. And I don't know why you wouldn't give him a shot. Let's see, your Mammoth next game they play is against Vegas. I feel like you might need some goals in that game. Now, granted, Dylan Ward can step up in that one, but I feel like the Vegas Desert Dogs have a chance to win that game because your offense might go to sleep again. I don't know, man. Am I really sitting here wondering, am I going to pick the Dogs to beat the Mammoth? And that game is what is it, April? They said April 3rd. Oh, wow, okay. So that's next week. Okay, I'll see what happens. So they don't, the Mammoth don't have a game this weekend. Okay. Is it one of those slow weeks again? No, we have 6 games, but okay, so Colorado has a bye week. Maybe Vela comes back after that game. I don't know. But I would not be surprised if I picked the Dogs to win that game, actually. But no, I mean, I feel like the Mammoth right now are what you're going to get in the playoffs. I don't know what other gear they can hit because I feel like we've already seen that gear. And again, that gear led them to losing to Buffalo, losing to the Rock, splitting with the Swarm, and then they lost the Black Bears. I feel like the Mammoth, and again, it's funny because I feel like Colorado, their ability to move the ball on offense could actually help beat the Rush. I don't know, though, because remember I told you guys the Mammoth love to shoot the ball a lot. And I don't know if Vancouver and Buffalo have the pace needed to beat the Rush. I think Colorado, if they got there, actually could have a chance. That's tough, though. Well, that's tough. And even the best part is, on April 11th, the Mammoth played Saskatchewan. That would be a fun game. That'd be a fun game. It's funny how I think that the Mammoth could actually lose to the Dogs, but then beat the Rush. I just feel like that's a weird thing that could actually happen. And speaking of could happen, I'm doing another one of those tomorrow. I mean, this league, it changes so much. I feel like I'm going to change on that as well. There's my championship recipes. I do like the 1 cup of Vela. I went with some offensive consistency. I also went with a few tablespoons of Dylan Ward. In fact, while I'm here, how many, this is going to sound stupid. Wait, what? How many tablespoons in 1 cup? What? Oh, 16. So let's say I want 12 tablespoons. So 3/4 of a cup I'll put on Dylan Ward. I thought Dylan Ward's going to step up, but I'll give him 12 tablespoons. I just had to look up the cookbook stuff. Okay. Championship recipes. All right. And also the thumbnail of this video had me with a cute little chef's hat. I wish we had a chef hat here. We don't. All right. We come back. A segment that will be a little bit touchy. Should the NLL encourage more fighting? I have a couple of arguments against that, and I need you guys to hear me out on the other side. You are watching Daily Dive, and also stay tuned for my power rankings as well. It's Wednesday.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talks from the plant. I, of course, am your host, Michael Karvelis, hoping that you are having a great day here. It is, of course, Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Your boy is busy real quick. But then we're having a good time here. I just talked about the championship recipes for the Vancouver Warriors and the Colorado Mammoth. Again, as your favorite team clinches the playoffs, we're going to talk about that. No, by the way, the Wings were eliminated. I believe what we're going to do is we're going to do the eliminated teams and what they can do to get back to the playoffs. We'll do that probably once the playoffs start. But leading up to the playoffs, we're going to do the championship recipes. So you guys, for the Wings fans and all you guys, you'll be patient, but we'll be fine. Appreciate you guys joining me. Remember, stay tuned for my NLL Power Rankings, including quite a bit of I'll call it a hot take, even though I believe it's going to happen, but we'll see. Now it's time for a segment that I've been thinking about this for a week or two, probably, at least as a segment on the show. I want to first shout out Lax Tillyman. That's LAXTILLYMEN on Instagram and Twitter. But we collabed with them on a post recently at Daily Dive LAX. They do a good job. Like they they show all these fights. Like there was one they posted, I believe it was this morning, of they showed just an image of Paul Rabel and some other guy from the Roughnecks. There wasn't any video of it, but I thought it was pretty funny. That's what they showed. Speaking of Paul Rabel, I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently someone quit from the PLL, and they were in charge of the storage units, and the PLL forgot to check the emails, and I'm sure after about 10 of them, the storage unit said, "Okay, thank you for having a storage unit. We're going to auction it off." Some YouTubers got it for $1,700 and found $200,000 worth of merchandise that was unopened. So I wanted to mention that. That's probably why Lex Tillyman showed Paul Rabel. That being said, fighting should not come back. By comeback, I understand we've had our Elijah Gash moments. We've had our Rylan Hartley moments. We had the fighting before the game. Shout out to Jackson Subak. What was it? Forgot, was it Tyler Biles? But guys, I'm okay with those moments as long as they stay in the heat of the moments. And I've got a couple of things to mention on why I think that's true. On why, because there's been some consensus recently that, oh, the NLL's soft and we're moving backwards and this is how you get views. And I think you guys are full of crap. I'm going to tell you why. How much do hockey players make? I'm just curious. How, like, NHL, like, we're talking about National Hockey League. Is it more than the NLL? Yes. Are they okay with fighting? Yes. Now, how much do NFL players make? How much do NBA players make? How much do baseball players make? Has hockey been around a while? Has hockey had national coverage in 2 different countries? Okay. See, a lot of you out there who, and I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the casual fan who's like me. I'm talking to the meatheads, the ones who peaked in high school. I'm asking you why you think fighting is going to get the sport massive. Because if you think the NHL is massive, you're full of SHIT. You're absolutely full of it. Their salaries are dwarfed compared to MLB, NFL, and NBA. They've had their fair share of chances to be as highly paid as those guys. Again, it is obviously more than the NLL. It is nowhere near the other 3 sports. Do you know why I bring those sports up? Because they not only don't like fighting, they will punish you for fighting. Isn't that funny? We know that social media, you get a bunch of clicks from fighting. I believe the NLL has actually gained a few fans from the fights. But is that really what we're here for? And I'm going to say something that's probably going to sound a little bit taboo, considering I know what happened this year when I said something else that got clipped, and all of a sudden I'm a terrible person. I don't know much about Indigenous history. I have a strange feeling, again, my person who lives in Georgia, who would like this lacrosse to thrive, forget box lacrosse, I would like if lacrosse was a bigger sport. I hear a lot about how the Creators game heals people. And rightfully so. Medicine game, all of it. At what point do we think the Creator, at what point do we think a higher being encouraged fighting? Was fighting involved in the original lacrosse? Because the same people that love fighting and think there should be more of it seem to also appreciate the traditional value of the game. And again, I could be wrong. I just have a very strange feeling fighting is a newer thing in lacrosse. I know by newer, I know the old age NLL, I understand that. But this thing isn't only 40 years old. This thing is centuries old. And I wonder, how does that heal people? Now, granted, do I think sometimes a good fight gets... Am I okay with Elijah Gash and Emerson Clark going after it and them smiling? Sure. Like, it's funny, like, the only time I started a fight in school, I shoved the guy into a water fountain. We had a little shoving match, and after that, a guy who I was not really cool with, we're now cool. Like, there's some things that can be said for fighting a little bit, but do we really think that's healing people? Do we think that that's lacrosse? Because I don't. Again, I am okay if a game is if it's a, I won't say a close game, but if the game's been chipping the entire time, I'm okay with a fisticuffs and then both guys go. I get it. That's fine. But do we really think a couple of Instagram likes are what the sport truly needs? Because after all, lacrosse is a beautiful game. I'm not a fan of field by not I appreciate field. I'm not a huge fan of field. But let's make no mistake, the box lacrosse and lacrosse in general is a beautiful sport that requires a bunch of talent. Paul Rabel, for crying out loud, even said that he appreciates how you have to have the build of a football player, you have to stop on a dime like a basketball player, hand-eye coordination, all kind of different sports thrown into one. And then I said, if you watch box lacrosse, it looks like basketball and football had a baby, and hockey too. But I don't think that we need more fights just to make it. I think that's a bunch of people who are barbaric in the head and meatheads. And I also think if the same people believe that there's a bunch of traditional value in this centuries-old sport, I beg you to show me when the creator was encouraging a bunch of fighting and violence to heal people. I don't think it's true. I think it could be a part of it, but I don't think we should advocate for more fighting and more physical play. So many sports have moved off of that stupid mindset. And again, I love the fact there's a page like Lax Tilly Men who show the throwbacks. I think there is a space in the sport for that page. I do not think we should encourage more fighting. Like, I don't think we should bring up these guys who are not great at lacrosse and say, oh yeah, bring them in there just to be an enforcer. Why? The Oshawa Firewolves tried to bring in mean, tough guys. They still suck. It does nothing for your team. I'm all for an enforcer. I don't think Isaiah Stewart's I think Isaiah Stewart's actually a talented basketball player, even though I do know the Pistons have him there to, kind of be an enforcer. I'm okay with an enforcer. But if your entire answer to we're getting blown out and we're losing, we got to punch you in the mouth, I don't think that's how you get better. I don't think that's how the sport grows. Because if that was the case, we could just be boxing and UFC fans, but we're not. Because we recognize how truly entertaining lacrosse is. And when you put it in an arena and call it box lacrosse, it's even 10 times better. I also know, as a box lacrosse enthusiast, over field that you are going to have naturally more fights come. This notion that some people want to advocate for more tough guys and more fighting, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. Again, I'm saying it from a person who understands that the three highest paid sports literally don't want you to fight. They're okay with this social media clicks, but there's a reason why they suspend guys for that stuff. They fine guys for that stuff. And the NHL, if your NHL fans swear by the National Hockey League, and yet it's not good enough to get paid that much. Why? I think box lacrosse has the potential to do both. I think that there's a scenario when if the masses find out what we do in the National Lacrosse League, what these awesome players are about, then yeah, you're going to see fights, you're going to see higher paid players. But fans are not going to stay because of the fighting. They will find out about the sport from the fighting, but kind of like sports betting, they're going to stay because the sport is freaking awesome. And not because there might be a fight today, or we might make $1,000 today. Obviously, the money, I get the money part, but that's not why they're going to stay. Sustainability is going to come because we have an awesome game to play. It's entertaining. It's traumatic. It's week to week. That's what I like to see. So again, I think the NLL, I think it's fine. I also want to mention a couple. Tanner Cook, the Cookie Monster for people. Great nickname. It's also funny when people use that as a reason to say, oh, he's just a big boy. He couldn't get out of the way. Man, shut up. Tanner Cook, yeah, I'll get to the defender side in a minute. But Tanner Cook was pushed and then ran and trucked into Dylan Ward. No one said a thing. It's fine. Really? Really? My clumsy self could have done a better job than Tanner Cook did to get out of the way. You could have done a better job than Tanner Cook did. You think any of us would have lowered our shoulder and went head first? That's the meathead mentality I'm talking about. That stuff's not cool. It's not okay to board somebody. It's not okay to blast somebody. Are big hits cool every now and again? Sure. Do we need them every play? No. As for the defenders, and I love Mike Messenger, but there are guys like him in the NLL that shove guys into their own goalie and then want to moan and complain and fight the guy. One, that's just weird and stupid. And two, you're not helping the referees. And in an age of social media, and every time a team loses, we blame the referees, it's not helping your sports. People think now you got crappy referees. It's not the referee's fault. It's your fault. Flopping. I cannot stand. I watched the Jordan McIntosh goal again. I watched the point of view the Swarm showed from their sideline. I found it very funny that Graham Hossack shoved a guy into the boards. And if you think that Jordan McIntosh flopped, do me a favor, because again, I was like, okay, maybe I watched that play wrong. Do me a favor. Look at the Georgia Swarm's point of view. Tell me if you think Jordan McIntosh flopped. And then, on top of that, I want Graham Hossack to shove you into the boards, and you bang your head on the boards, and you see if you don't flop and fall down like he did. He was dazed and confused. I think He probably got checked out for a concussion. The problem with that, though, why do you think people said he flopped? Because so many players across sports think you should. I don't know why we looked at soccer and thought, oh, yeah, we should start doing that. I don't know why LeBron did it and does it. I don't know why anybody does it. But it's a shame because guys like Jordan McIntosh, who literally smacked their head on the board, now we think they flopped. And I think that's a dangerous game to play. I think that, and again, I feel like it's going to continue because for some reason athletes think it should. And I think it's absolutely insane. I think it's a form of cheating personally. When, like, how many times have you seen a guy get pushed down and he lays on the floor and he's grabbing 10 different body parts, and as soon as the whistle blows, oh, I can get up now. Is that not disrespectful to guys that were hurt? Like, actually hurt? I don't know why universally athletes have been thinking that that's okay. That, oh yeah, so that way when someone actually is hurt, like Jordan McIntosh, oh no, he flopped. Because every other moron did it because they want a competitive advantage. Again, I think it's ruining the referees. I think it makes their job a little bit like 10 times harder than it should be. But again, all of this goes into the fighting thing. There's so many things, again, like the Tanner Cook thing. It's like, oh well, now we need to fight. Like, I don't think we do. I think this game is too awesome. And I don't want us to continue things like that. I'm okay with defenders. Like, if you are shooting and simultaneously a defender hits you, absolutely. That way, yeah, the guy doesn't want to get rough and tough and go inside. But if Jordan McIntosh scores a breakaway goal and Graham Hossick or anybody's first reaction is bam, I don't think that's competition. I think it's the meathead mentality of bring back fighting. I don't like that. And again, what Graham Hossick did, I understand he's usually a pretty clean but mean defender. But I don't think it's smart for the sport. I think things like that should be cleaned up. And as long as fighting comes naturally and is not forced on us, I think the NLL will continue to show sponsors why it's fine. But again, I'll circle back to the Tyler Biles and Jackson Subak thing. There have been so many people that are like, oh, for a whole week they planned that. I think it's mafia. I think it's the equivalent of the mafia. And then the fact that a bunch of parents were like, oh yeah, no, the kids actually needed to see that. Okay, sure. But do that in the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, aka the leagues that get paid the most money, and you might never play a game again. It's just, what do you want to do? Sponsors see that kind of stuff. They appreciate the occasional fighting, I'm sure. But stuff like that, how big do you want the sport to grow? And again, I'll say this. I do the only daily NLL talk show. I will tell the players, coaches, and owners and media this. Why do you think that is? I'm not saying the entire reason is because of the fighting, but it seems like it all contributes to the mindset of, no, we don't need to get, why do we need to get better? Grow the game, right? Just grow the game, grow the game, grow the game. Oh, what's that? I just heard a frog outside my window. Grow the game. It's gotten you here. And I feel like There's a reason for that. The mindset that we have is not proactive enough to grow. So again, as long as the fights come naturally, I'm fine with it. But again, think about the bigger picture and we'll be fine. I've got another topic coming up. It's my Wednesday NLL Power Rankings. Cannot wait for this. Not much has changed up top, but a little bit has. We'll conclude the show next. You're watching Daily Dive.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
You're watching Daily Dive. This is the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Follow us on social media at Daily Dive LAX. Myself, Captain Hunter Smith, have our own socials as well. It's time to get to my power rankings after week 17 went down. Hey, this will be fun. All right, so let's go again. Start with 9 through 14. So, the Wings, the Roughnecks, the Firewolves obviously stay put. Desert Dogs, what a win they had this weekend as they once again controlled about 85% of that game against Rochester. They move up to number 9. If the season ended today, the Dogs would be 8th in the standings, in case you are wondering. I don't know if you are. Yeah, so they're currently 8th. They are in the playoffs right now, but there are, of course, 4 more weeks to go here. Thunderbirds took a bad loss to the Swarm. Not only did you start off so terribly, you then couldn't finish the job. And I feel like they came out so slow, it was ridiculous. And Rochester, same thing with them. I don't know what happened in those locker rooms. Those teams seem to be almost checked out. Not much has changed here, but 2 spots. And I know, it's like, well, wait a minute. Ottawa lost and Georgia won. Okay. So Ottawa was very competitive the entire game in Vancouver. They lost 10-8. Georgia, who is now 9-5, and again, right now, the Ottawa Black Bears are 8-7. The Swarm are 9-5. I understand that, of course. The Swarm played a much worse Thunderbirds team. Were up ginormously, and then blew it, and then barely won. This weekend, guess what's going down? Georgia plays in Ottawa. I think Black Bears win that game. I think that Dobson has been a little bit leaky. I know the third and fourth quarters, I know it wasn't all his fault. The reason why the Birds came back, but the last few weeks he has not been as great as he was to start. The Swarm's offense can be terrible, and I think the Black Bears, I trust them more. Brent Noseworthy and Callum Jones have been awesome. Rob Hellier and Jeff Teat are a dynamic duo on offense, and Zach Higgins has been playing better. I think the Ottawa Black Bears will leapfrog them, and I think that they're going to win this weekend in Georgia, in Ottawa. Cannot wait for that. I know Troy probably will be there, I would assume. The good Black Bears fan who originally said that Jeff Teat is the best professional athlete in Ottawa right now. So he should probably be at that game. I think Black Bears win. That's a preview of my pick'em for this coming weekend. Oh, and by the way, the Rush lost. I get it. They still have the best record, and I also think I would take them over Buffalo or Vancouver in a 3-game series right now. I think Buffalo has shown their championship pedigree has not gone anywhere, and I think Vancouver is starting to become the freight train that we thought they would be. I still am going to stick with the Rush. I also picked the Mammoth over the Rock because the Mammoth's offense is more reliable, in my opinion, than a team that's led by CJ Kurse. No one wants to talk about it, but if you could pick an MVP from the Rock right now, it would probably be the guy with the most goals, CJ Kurse. You might want to pick a defensive player. I don't know. I think CJ Kurse has been the MVP of that team this year. You can argue otherwise. I think that's been the case. So I think the Rock are currently the 5th best. I think the Mammoth are more reliable in a 3-game series, even though the Rock could beat them. I just feel like I'm comfortable with my top 5, and I think 6 and 7 are going to be a little bit interchangeable. I think the 8th spot will be its 3rd and final tier of my playoffs. There are 4 weeks to go, and obviously beginning tomorrow, we're going to transition into week 18, but we do appreciate you tuning into the show. Feel free to comment or chirp me at Daily Dive Lax on Instagram or Twitter. I will be sure to post some reels from this week's recaps and takes on Instagram and Twitter. We thank you for subscribing to North American Talk Radio on YouTube. Reminder, they have college men's and women's lacrosse this weekend, along with women's flag football, which you won't want to miss that right here on this network. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. This has been another edition of Daily Dive. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye.